From shadows to substance. Hebrews chapter 9 deepens the contrast between the Old Covenant and the New, focusing on the tabernacle, priestly rituals, and the power of Christ's sacrifice. The chapter shows how the old system was symbolic and temporary, pointing forward to the true redemption found in Jesus. Through his blood, Christ secures eternal access to God, not through repeated rituals, but through a once and for all offering. Hebrews chapter 9 verses 1 through 5. The chapter opens with a description of the earthly sanctuary, the tabernacle used under the Old Covenant. It had two rooms, the holy place and the most holy place, each with sacred furnishings like the lampstand, table, and Ark of the Covenant. These elements were rich in symbolism, but the author notes that a detailed explanation isn't the focus here. The emphasis is on their temporary and limited nature. Hebrews chapter 9 verses 6 through 10. Only priests could enter the holy place regularly, but only the high priest could enter the most holy place, and only once a year, with blood for his own sins and the people's. This restricted access symbolized that the way to God was not yet fully open. The rituals dealt only with external cleansing, not the conscience. These were regulations for a time of reformation, pointing ahead to something better. Hebrews chapter 9 verses 11 through 14. In contrast, Christ entered the greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made by human hands, and offered his own blood, not that of animals. His sacrifice secured eternal redemption. Unlike the blood of goats and bulls, which purified outwardly, Christ's blood cleanses the conscience, enabling believers to serve the living God. This section highlights the internal transformation made possible through Jesus Christ. Hebrews chapter 9 verses 15 through 22. Jesus is the mediator of a new covenant, which grants eternal inheritance to those called. Just as a will takes effect only after death, so the covenant was enacted through Christ's death. The old covenant was inaugurated with blood, and without the shedding of blood, there is no forgiveness. This underscores the necessity and power of Christ's sacrifice to deal with sin once and for all. Hebrews chapter 9 verses 23 through 28. The earthly copies of heavenly things required purification, but the heavenly realities demanded a better sacrifice. Christ did not enter a man-made sanctuary, but heaven itself, to appear before God on our behalf. He didn't offer himself repeatedly like earthly priests. He offered himself once, at the climax of history, to take away sin. Just as people die once and face judgment, Christ died once to bear sin and will return not to deal with sin again, but to bring salvation to those eagerly waiting for him. Hey, thank you for listening. Consider liking and following. I upload a chapter summary of the New Testament each weekday. Right now, we are working our way through the book of Hebrews.